My name is Elaine Coombs, and it is Thursday, December 19th, 2024. I am a painter living and working in San Francisco, California, USA, for the past 24 years. I grew up in Canada in a small town in southern Ontario, about an hour southwest of Toronto and an hour west of Buffalo. It was a fairly idyllic, rural childhood, very wholesome, and I feel super grateful for that. Growing up in the country, it was a safe community where you knew your neighbors and we took care of each other. And it allowed for a certain amount of freedom. We had fun, we played outside a lot, we had time to explore and get lost in a very good way. I have many happy childhood memories to look back on. And these positive, secure feelings are something that I connect with now as very important to the core of who I am. Putting positive things into the world through my art is very important to me. Like attracts like, and I figure that this is how I can affect change, even in a very small way, for those who view my work. I think my upbringing definitely did prompt a specific reference point within my paintings. When I was starting to show my work in the US in the early 2000s, it took a little while to really find what I wanted to say and express, what made me truly different. And so I drew on the connection I have always had with nature, as it is the place that centers me emotionally. Moving from the eastern part of Canada to the west coast of the US made a great impact on me. I think I began painting the Western landscape because I found it so unique and different from where I grew up, and yet it still grounded me the way it had when I lived in Canada. Photographing and then painting this subject matter was a way to meld my own past and present together. Some of my early influences that come to mind are the group of 7 artists who were a group of Canadian painters who painted the untouched wilderness. Joan Mitchell, I've always loved the energy of her paintings, and I used to look at her work quite a lot. The technique of Chuck Close, I was always fascinated by the way he was able to create a realistic image from all those abstract sections placed together. It was mind-boggling to me. And nowadays, I am inspired by all of my contemporaries that I show with in galleries across the US. So many strong female painters and other contemporary artists. I look at as many as I can. Honestly, though, I'm very careful to not follow anyone too closely, especially if they are inspired by a similar subject matter. And I will actually stop looking at anyone I feel is too close to my work because I want to make sure that I keep my own artistic voice as pure as possible. Right now I'm focusing on an ongoing series of skyscapes with soft metallic backgrounds, and I've been working on these for the last 3 to 4 years. This genre still feels quite new to me as I spent the previous 16 years or so on landscape. My current subject matter of the sky and clouds at sunrise and sunset lets me move quite a bit more toward abstraction, and yet I can still hold on to a reference point, which I think I still need and want to hold on to. In this series, I use the sky as a metaphor for both the spiritual realm and also our dreams. The work is a reflection and a manifestation of my belief in the inherently positive aspects of this world. The biggest challenge of being an artist is turning your passion into your career. You have to be a business person as well as a creative person and successfully navigate between those two sides of your practice. You also have to not be afraid to put yourself out there constantly and to keep trying new things. It's an ongoing process. Here is some advice I would give to my younger self. Trust yourself more. Believe in others. Remember that it's all going to work out. Have more fun and don't take it all too seriously. Take your work seriously, but not everything. Try to relax more. I definitely used to work way too much to the point where I felt drained. Now I strive for more balance. It's never truly achievable, but I certainly get closer now to it than I ever have before. As far as trying unconventional mediums or techniques, when I was in art school in the 90s, I tried anything I could get my hands on and just about any tool I could find. But that was the exploration phase. After getting through that experimental phase, I think it's more about figuring out what you want to say or communicate and then finding the best tools to do that. So for me, it ended up not being about anything super flashy or different. I like to try to find new ways to push a traditional medium like acrylic painting. In the studio, I love listening to music and sometimes podcasts. It depends on my mood. My music tastes range from classical to pop to country, and sometimes I throw in some French music because I'm trying to learn French. As far as podcasts, I'll shout out to my current favorite, which is called The Great Creators. They are interviews with creatives of all type, musicians, actors, comedians, producers. Really great stuff. The best reaction that someone has had to my work is being absolutely speechless or tears of joy. But really, any time that someone is visibly moved by it, it is so special. I once had a show where the gallerist told me that people came in to just sit on the bench and look at my paintings all around them and feel the calmness. That really touched me. Being able to contribute in that way is really special. I want people to find joy, satisfaction, and upliftment in my work. My greatest hope would be that they feel better after seeing it than they did before. That I positively influenced them in some way, even if only for a fleeting moment. Where can you find my work now? I have a show on through January 11th, 2025 in Denver at Walker Fine Art. I was just in the Art Miami Art Fair in December with Andrea Schwartz Gallery, and they represent me here in San Francisco, California. I also show at KW Contemporary in Maine, Thomas Dean's Fine Art in Atlanta, and Avant Art Gallery in Houston. The best place to follow me is on Instagram at Elaine.Coombs, or go to my website and sign up for my newsletter list at ElaineCoombs.com, all one word. Thank you.